Welcome everyone, today we have a special guide for Tower Fantasy, and in this video we'll look into the drop rate of the world boss monsters and also we'll be looking into the drop rate of the months. And this video will look at how to get better rates and also higher rates. So there is actually a few things we really need to highlight, is that at certain level of the game you will get better rates, and also there are certain ways to get even higher rates. So what I want to show you guys is this particular Reddit post I saw, and this is a player who actually got the crow, a Scythe of Crow, so king, the weapon, SSR weapon for king, and also he got the chip for king. He is extremely lucky. But in this video, what I want to go through with you guys is what are the methods to give you higher rates. So I have listed Excel over here, and we also have the rates of the world boss monsters, which if you look closely, you will get higher rates if you follow this pattern. So I also wrote some notes for you guys as well. So over here, I wrote down the notes and we'll go through this as well, because you can see that with different bosses, there is a higher rate for SR weapons, there is a higher rate for SSR weapons, and also there's an even higher rate for SSR chips, and we'll go through this in this video as well. Now coming over to the index for Tower Fantasy, and this site is very helpful. So what we're looking over here is the drop rate of the world boss monsters first. So those are the world boss monsters we have. There is currently 5 we can kill, and they do have certain drops. If you have a look in the game, they have the SSR weapons and also they have the SSR chips. And especially each of the world boss monsters will give you a different SSR chip. So coming over to the drop rates, it might seem very similar for some of those monsters, but the first thing you can notice is that the first 2 world boss will have 1.3% drop rate for any SSR weapon, but after that the third boss will have 1.4%, and then the final boss, I believe the 3-headed dog, the Barbasaurus, will have 1.5% drop rate for SSR weapon. So right away you can see there is a disparity between which boss you fight and how you use your golden chip. So what I want to do is I want to come over to this notes over here to give you guys a general summary, and then we go through the Excel and also additional things we can consider. We'll also look into the weapon drop rate, we'll also look into the vehicle drop rates, because this seems like the more monsters you kill, the more AFK farming you do, you get better rates over there. So we'll talk about this on the second part. Now coming over to my summary notes, the first thing I noticed with the rates is we do get better rates for SSR chips after level 40. So notice over here, SSR chips will have a dramatic increase in rate after level 40 of the adventurous level, which I wasted some of mine before that. I wish I knew. So I'm saving my golden chips after level 40, and I'm sure most of you guys are level 40. So this is something pretty straightforward. And after that, the bosses will drop different SSR chips. So just to give you guys a summary of what boss drops what SSR chips. Currently we have we have 6 world bosses, not 5. So here are the 6 world bosses with the drop rate for the certain set of SSR chips. Something you want to be focusing on is, if you do want to mirror the golden SSR chips, it is best to save your golden chips. So the ones we have over here, actually you can see it over here. It's over here, right? The type 3 golden chips, you can be saving them for the right of the boss that drops the right set for you. And the later, the stronger the boss are, the greater the drop rate is. So we can see the early 2 bosses with the flower with Borag and also Aphius, they only have 2.6% of the golden SSR chip, but later on with the later world bosses, they have up to 3.3% with the Barbasaurus. So this is something you want to be aware as you select the world boss to be fighting for a greater rate of SSR chips you wanted. Now if we come back to the rates over here, the next 2 things we'll focus on will be the SR weapons and also SSR weapons. The SR weapons and also SSR weapons, they both are random. So what that means is you can drop any of the weapons in here. But one thing to notice is the earlier bosses actually have a lower rate for SR drops. So if you're just looking to get some SR duplicates for some flame gold and some duplicates after 6 stars, what you want to do is you want to be saving your golden chips for the final boss, which have a 60% drop rate for SR drop rate. And compared to the first boss, Rollback, this only have a 40% drop rate. So there's a big disparity again. Over here, you want to notice. So notice here, if we come over to the first boss, this is 40%. But if we come over to the final few bosses, 55% and 60%. And this is for the SR weapons. Similar things will happen to the SSR weapons as well. If you are not really looking for chips, you're looking for SSR weapons, it is the best to save your golden chips for the final boss, Barbasaurus. So the Barbasara is located over here in case you guys are wondering, and this will drop the Mario chip. And if we look at the rates, you can see that, the SSR weapons, the starting 2 bosses have 1.3%. After that, it's 1.4% for Forcepot, Sobek, and also Luca. Finally, Barbasara will give you 1.5% of your SSR weapon drop rate. Now I know from the hindsight, those rates might not seem to be a big deal. I mean, it is quite a big deal if you're looking for SR drops, but with the later bosses, there's so many things to pick from. So what I want to give you guys a guide is, a quick summary is, always do the bosses after level 40. I'm sure you guys are over level 40 now. And then the first thing you do want to consider is your SSR chip set. If you want a particular set of chips, it is still worth it to go for the right boss. Even though the rate's a little lower, but having the chips rate is usually the more important thing for the players. And finally, we do want to pick the boss with a higher SSR weapon. Let's say if I'm okay with Crow's Matrix, I'm okay with Mario's Matrix, and also King's Matrix. I'm okay with all 3 of those matrix. And then it is the best for me to choose Barbasara, because this boss have a higher SSR weapon drop rate and also a higher SR weapon drop rate. So this is definitely the best boss to kill if you're not really preferring the matrix. But if you do prefer the matrix, let's say if you're going for King, there is a still chance of getting the King matrix, on Burag, and this is the only world boss that drops this matrix. So if we do come over to this Reddit post previously by our friend Seth Polo over here, he did kill Burag, and he was extremely lucky. I can't describe how lucky he was, right? So he got the King SSR weapon, and also he got the King chip. So the rates of this is like, 1 in 10,000, right? So very, very lucky of him. So even though we have the best rates over here, this could still happen. Players can still go for the setup chips and also get the SSR weapons using the golden chips. So notice here he is using his golden chips to open those loots. So those loots are not coming from a forced open of the password chest. They're using the golden password key to open those. Now, while looking at the world boss rate, there is something called the Special 4, which is quite interesting to me. And on the side, it seems like the Special 4 mechanics, which is uncertain, they're not sure what triggers it, but this will greatly increase the drop rate of everything. SSR weapons, this will increase the drop rate of SSR golden chips. And this is pretty massive. This will also increase the drop rate of the purple chip, but it's not a big deal to us, right? So notice how this is greatly increased. And here on Excel, I actually outlined how many percentage of the drop rate increase. It is massive. So the bonus increase rate from the Special 4 is like 50 to 90% if you happen to know how to find the Special 4. Currently, we don't know how the Special 4 occurs, so I have some speculations. So the first speculation is, if you come over to this video, this is a boss chest that is glowing in blue color, right? Before I looting it. So once I loot the chest, what you're gonna see is I get a bunch of stuff. I also got an SR weapon. So maybe when the boss chest is glowing in purple or gold, this could be a Special 4. So what I'm trying to say is we try to identify if the chest is a Special 4. If the chest is a Special 4 from the boss, so let me go back a little bit. So notice the glow. So if the chest is a Special 4 from the boss, maybe it's glowing in purple or golden, which I have never seen. So if that is the case, so I want to come over to this player. I'm not sure what glow he had for his chest. If we can identify if the chest is a Special 4, then it is more worth it to use your golden chips because you will enjoy so much higher rate, by 50 to 90% increase rate in SSR, and this could be massive. But we don't know if this is the case. There's also currently we have the ongoing of the boss farming event, and I don't know if during this event we'll get higher rate because those bosses are, they say you get even more rewards than usual. Do they hint there is a Special 4 in this? So this is not confirmed, so I thought I'd share this with you guys. Notice almost all the bosses, if you happen to achieve Special 4, your drop rate for SSR weapons is almost doubled. And your drop rate for the SSR chips is 50% or even higher. So this is quite interesting. Do let me know in the comments, guys, if you know what a Special 4 is, and if we can replicate and identify how to get Special 4, we will get even more drops from the world boss. Now, before we finish the video, I do want to quickly touch up on the month drop rate. I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of the guides for FFK farming for the months, and so also some of the month parts, and you get to see the month drop rate. And notice how the drop rate is actually incredibly low. That's why players are farming for hours. So over here, we do have a tweet from Sova, who the source of those drop rate is actually from the Twitter. So I'm going back to the source. One thing you want to notice for the month drop rate is that your chance of drop of those items will increase after getting over 100 kills of those monsters. I know this doesn't really help, right? Once you get that many kills, ideally you'll have those loots, but just rest assured, if you're farming for your month parts, the more you kill guys, the higher rate you get. So from 0.2% goes to 0.5%. And that's something you want to notice, to be rest assured. Eventually, you'll get your month parts as you farm those. And before we finish, looking at the chance up for killing more monsters, I'm wondering over here with the special 4 mechanics, maybe we'll have to kill over 100 of those boss monsters or open over 100 chests to get a special 4 job. That'd be too ridiculous, right? Because that will take weeks, because we get about 3 of the golden chips a week. So I'm trying to look at how the special 4 will happen, and do let me know in the comments guys if you discover anything we want to share with the community, because this will greatly increase your chance of SSR, and this can be a very good long-term investment to find out what the special 4 is and to get bonus rate for everyone. Now if you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe on our YouTube channel and for more content related to Tower of Fantasy. I'll be looking into more free-to-play content, and I've tried to look into minimum spending or no spending method to clear the game and also achieve the highest amount of free currencies and also free-to-play characters and also weapons in the game.